I said, just come up and
No
it's
bells.
like, you know, it's basically like a home industrial. Okay, and so
It's like a mini industrial.
my first paycheck job was working with a China doll factory. We made 19 China. And I did all the sewing. And it was a 1948 oh my God. It was self-oiling. You watch the oil, have a little bit of oil and it went forward and backward. Oh my God. God, I love that. And I found that recently out in the street that
The first thing I ever did was my son. The needlewood in and broken about 5 years.
This was the only exercise.
Getting the last piece out. But,
I ended up going to Kaiser and
yeah.
Yeah.
Better.
So it
Better.
was, my left hand, so it was these
like
three
it.
fingers,
Yeah.
and it was stuck in my index finger and again. So I managed to, well, I guess to get it out. I managed to get it out, but I'm like,
Now I understand the concept.
No, I don't have
Not after this.
so I got my pliers and I started to pull and I'm like,
Here.
Yeah, not a piece of
no,
butt.
yeah, and it's 11 o'clock at night. I don't have,
It's always when
I was, you know, I was going to stay over at the shop.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a car, so no buses until. So it's like I just called the. Okay, I got $50. Okay, I called the cab and went to Kaiser ER.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're looking at me like, how did you do that? With a sewing machine. How the hell? Yeah, how else?
Yeah, you did that thing. You still have a factory attached?
I love horses. You know, I was working at late in the sweatshop. Yeah, I did horses.
Yeah, I left how I work. When I talk to the people I used to work with, I say I'm retired now. I'm over kind of slave driver boss. Me.
Yeah.
You pick up my mind in the next 2 hours, so. Nobody will drive you like yourself when you're working.
That is true. You never look as hard as you do in what you
Part of why I don't want to work for myself. I've had so many people say, well, why don't you go into business? Especially when I was doing so much sewing for people. I mean, I made wedding dresses for a friend of ours
when I was in college.
and two of her Mormon friends. And found out a whole lot about, what you can and cannot wear and do on them.
I found a
And
lot
I
of
did a bunch of others. And I made garb for a whole bunch of people. And,
There you go.
yeah, why don't you go into business? You can make money. I said, well, you can't make that much money. Two, no thanks.
Well, you are
Half of them won't pay you unless
they'll
you
never pay you what your time is actually worth.
Well, okay,
I
so
freelanced a lot as a carpenter.
when I made
Same thing.
Kiriana's cloak as a commission for Leon,
Yes.
black cloak,
I remember when you
had
did
her
that.
scale on the back, and then it had her thing was polka dots on it.
Yes, I
But she
remember.
didn't want polka dots on it. It's okay, but that's your device. You chose that. I said, okay.
Yeah,
so,
you didn't have to have polka dots.
I know. So what I did is the bottom row, I used a dinner plate, about 12-inch dinner, 10 or 12-inch dinner plate, and put them 24 inches on center across the bottom. And then I made smaller circles as I went up, and they ended up, I think, silver dollar size, right up around her shoulders. And they were all 24 inches on center. So there were less of them proportionately. So it didn't look as polka-dotted. I mean, it took me a long time because there was a circle, and I zigzagged them. I was not doing them by hand. Not that much. And I ended up creating a horrible case of bursitis in one of my shoulders, probably the one that became so much trouble because of trying to roll it up and force that much wool into the throat of the sewing machine. Oh my God! By the time I was in so much pain. And Leon says, how much? I said, 100. So he gave me $200.
That sounds like
Most of the people that I've done a bigger commission for have always upped what I asked for. It's, that one was work.
Yeah, I was gonna
Most
say.
of the stuff I make, even the wedding dresses, those weren't work. The hardest work was, making sure everybody was happy.
The sewing work, the sewing work itself.
To me, it was fun.
Well, it's really interesting, and there's certain problems that you have to solve. Working with some of those fabrics, like if you can master working with such as satin.
GoPro, stop recording.